screw that warning crap. We don't do warnings around here.
How dare you?
How dare you?
I know, how dare I? Well, not only that, I don't even come fully dressed. So
Look, well,
oh my
I
God.
prefer you that way.
Oh, then. Throw this thing away, man. I'm changing my branding now. Yeah, and I see you got the pipe out there.
I'm ready. I'm ready
You
for the
are.
shenanigans.
You're a true shenanigator. So
I am. I'm a shenaniganery guy.
would you like to be a shenanigator too? But anyway, we've got a great show. Welcome to Between Two Brians, because between the two of us, we'll solve all the world's problems, I'm sure.
And we won't tell anyone.
That's why we're keeping it to ourselves. So anyway, we have a fun topic tonight and a cause that y'all can get behind to help one of our own. Yeah. How many clues do we need? Anyway, yeah, and it's funny I mentioned that because I'm a big fan of the paperback series The Destroyer. You know, Remo Williams, the Adventure,
Yeah.
and all that. And I found that back when I worked at Office Depot, I had actually bound together the magazine, and it followed the early issues, followed the early paperbacks. And one of the members of the organization that Remo Williams worked for was an alcoholic, and thus prone to potentially tell secrets. So the head of Cure, the organization, told Remo, you've got to kill him. So he doesn't reveal anything, just in case. And there was a teaser for the next issue, and showed the guy who was going to get killed, McCreary, sitting in a chair, you know, in the middle of the spotlight, and Remo is like, and the caption reads, someone in this group will die next issue. Can you guess who? And there's Chun going, real subtle, Marvel, real
Very
subtle.
That's like the Dragon Ball Z titles.
Oh yeah,
They just completely spoil the entire episode. Like literally, like in one of them, I mean they changed them when they did Dragon Ball Z Kai, kind of the reboot. But the original series, it was like Goku dies, and he hadn't died, and like they were fighting, and there was like the big fight, and it's like, are you serious? It was that crazy. Like they would just spoil stuff in the title.
That's great. I'm sure that's hilarious, and be sure to stay tuned for the movie of the week when we have the sequel to Citizen Kane, Rosebud's the Sled. Anyway,
it's a Christmas special.
It's a feel-good movie of the year.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna make
1984.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, anyway, we're going to make everyone feel good tonight because we're going to be talking about crowdfunding, and a certain someone we know in the door has got one coming up, and we're going to give you an address that you can click on it, and we are not asking you to spend any money tonight. That'll come later. Not tonight. Late June, boy. We don't expect to have the touch put on you. But no, it'll be worth it, though, when you hear what it is. And we will have a special appearance by the author and the illustrator tonight. I mean, it's going to be a crowded place here tonight, I'm telling you.
Man, so many people tonight.
I know, it's star-studded, I'm telling you. But before we do, we must pay homage to our friends, and this is one of the few serious moments you're likely to get tonight. And we got to pay tribute to the people that help keep us going as creators and as friends and everything. And I've still got to do my blog entry for today, so long story. Anyway, we're talking, of course, Patreon. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators with an affordable monthly stipend. And here are my Patreon patrons who every week get a twice weekly blog, and the people who pledge $5 and up are currently reading the first draft of The Terrors 2, the sequel to the big book that's out right now. It's been out since November and is doing quite well, thank you. And also you can also sign up for Mr. Rodman's page, and he offers all manner of delights.
Yeah, and right now it's actually I just dropped it last week. If you want to read the first 4 chapters of Memoirs of an Angel, The Grey Pilgrim, for as little as $2 a month, which is super cheap, guys.
Yeah.
You can go to patreon.com/Brian Rodman, and you can read the beginning, part 1 of Memoirs of an Angel, The Great Pilgrim, which will be launching at the end of next month, which is what we're talking about tonight.
That's true. So if you want to get a head start on your peer group, give Brian some support. Mr. Rodman deserves it. And we also would request your humble presence at our page, because it's folks like you, honestly, that help keep us going forward, keep the wheels turning creatively, and you get to talk to us and ask us some probing questions, so to speak. So check us out both at patreon.com. Brian is at Brian Rodman, all one word, all lowercase, and I'm at Brian K. Morris, all one word, all lowercase. And we thank everyone who is our Patreon subscriber and the Patreon subscribers to come. And we also want to thank Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics. He's the one who did this award-winning cover here. And isn't that a beauty? The answer is yes. And this recent release from Stormgate Press,
I have to say, in all seriousness, as much as I love the one he did for the Terrors, that cover is my personal favorite that he's done.
It's a beauty
so far. That is gorgeous.
It's a sweetie.
Gorgeous.
And he also works in just about any genre you wish. He's easy to work with, and I can tell you from personal experience, and the talent, the results speak for themselves. He won an award for this one too. It is, I have far fewer people going, "Ooh, it's a new book of yours," than they go, "Ooh, it's Jeffrey's." And I ain't stupid as to tell them, well, I'm in there too. No. You can thank Jeffrey's all the way through it. He wrote it, he printed it, he painted all the words in. It is all him. I'll run with it all the way to the bank. But anyway, if you want to make bank on your book, then you definitely want to get Plasma Fire Graphics involved when the look of your book matters to you, because it should. You've worked hard on that manuscript. You want people to buy your book. So get a hold of Jeffrey Hayes after you visit his Facebook page, and then go to plasmafiregraphics.com, check out more samples, and ask him about his indie creator-friendly pricing. You will be so glad you did. That is plasmafiregraphics.com. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And that concludes the reading of the moments for tonight. So we've got, and speaking of reading, we've got comments.
Oh,
I know
we do.
Of course. Yes, that's one thing we love. And everybody who watches us live, we love you guys. And everyone who watches us on the rerun, we love you too. Please leave some comments, and we will try to, we'll give you some love, give you some sugar. And hello to Carl Witzman, first in the gate. Glad to have you here, Carl. Check out lulu.com for this man's great books. And lulu.com, while you're at it getting Carl's, get hers too. She's a fantastic writer. Hey, Donna, how you doing tonight? And she's even saying hello to Carl for some reason. And and here we go. Here's the message of the evening. Tonight we're talking about crowdfunding. And he will be tickled. I'll see to it. If you follow his current one, set to launch on June 25th at that address. Now, here's the thing. We are not asking for a penny from you. We're not even asking for any sort of financial commitment whatsoever. What this does is the more people, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but the more people who pre-sign up for notice via email that your book will be released. What date is that again? June 25th. June
25th. Yeah, it's going to be released. We're going to launch June 25th. It'll last 28 days, so it'll be until Tuesday, July 23rd. And what this link does is it shows Kickstarter that people are interested in this project before it even launches. So that helps us get a little bit more traction on the platform. And there's a thing that Kickstarter does. It's like projects we love, and no one really knows how to get that. There's not really, I've gotten it multiple times, but I've also not gotten it before, and we've not done anything different. However, we have noticed that every time we push the pre-launch page, which is what this is, and we get enough followers, not only does it give more attention to the campaign in general, it puts it on people's radar about a month before we launch. It gives Kickstarter an idea that, hey, there's a few people that really want to see this. Perhaps we should give it a boost. And then if they give it a boost, they put it on their homepage. So that's what this does. Doesn't cost you a thing. You're not obligated to buy the book. although I very much wish you would. And I'll tell you this, what it does is it just sends you an email to let you know when we launch, unless you have been harassed by me personally already. Um, and, and so it will, if anything, it'll give you an update. You can go check it out, look at all the rewards that we'll have, which we can talk about it tonight. We can talk about it on another occasion as we get closer to the campaign. Doesn't matter to me. But we've got a lot of cool stuff, guys. So if you're on the teetering edge, you don't really know if you want to do this. You just kind of want to support me. I'm telling you, the campaign, when it launches and you look at it, you'll change your mind because we've got some really cool stuff coming.
Yeah, and then I will vouch for this gentleman here. He is a champion of fulfillment. He takes it very. You do, my man.
Yeah.
Even considering like with the nebulizer number 2, you were starting to have your issues health-wise.
Yeah.
And you still got that book out, brother.
We got it out. We were 6 months late, but we were 6 months late because my health situation that still was going on was just starting, and we had no idea what was going on. I was in really bad shape, still really bad shape, but yeah. And we put it on high priority to get that thing done, because for me personally, there are people out there, the worst thing you can do as a creator is create a book, have it funded, and then let your audience hang for months and years, even sometimes. I'm still waiting on a couple campaigns to fulfill that I backed in 2017, folks. I do not expect to get these things, but that's the worst part of campaigns, and I pride myself on not leaving our readers hanging, because I know for me, I hate it when it's done to me. So I don't want to do it to our readers, and anyway, we can get into that later. But fulfillment wise, I'm there. I'm for you. And the reason, I'll say this last thing, the reason that it took us so long to launch again, because it's been 2 years since the Nebulizer 2 launched. And the reason it took us so long is I made a promise to all of my backers on the Nebulizer 2 and on Facebook that I would never launch again until the project was at least 90% complete. And we're there with this book. Yeah. So, well, it'll be out probably before our shipping date, but we're going to give ourselves a cushion. So
excellent. So anyway, check out that address at the bottom of the message. We will be repeating that several times during the show. And again, it does not obligate you financially or in any other way. It is just merely to help Brian conquer the algorithms that are Kickstarter. So So anyway,
help me fight the bots.
That's right, my guy. Those Russian porn bots that infest my inbox. And yes, you do rock. And I didn't make number 20, so I hope number 22 is all right.
Thank you so much.
And I agree with Brian. It is wonderful. And thank you. And there we go. And Joe Bachman is here. Glad to have you here. IndieCD.org, I believe it is. Get your name listed, and it's a very small price, a once-in-a-lifetime price, and you get coverage forever. So check it out. And also use that if you're looking for various people to help in your creativity. And I'll be sure to follow the Kickstarter when I get back down to my PC. Thank you, Joe. Much appreciated. And let's see, and we're up to 26 now. And Dawn Dulles, glad to have you here. Mwah, glad to have you. And don't forget to like and share. As Donna Carlene says, please, to help the numbers on the show, we both would appreciate it. Share on your social media. Also, please like, on this platform here, the platform you're watching on, and let people know what kind of fun we're having, and people might learn something.
Also, might I add how snazzy you look tonight, sir? Look at that shirt.
I dressed up for the occasion.
I lost my virginity just staring at you.
Oh my God, we can make it official after the show. So anyway, and Angelos points out that I'm already taking Brian's bath away. That's called foreplay. Anyway, Let's see. And I lost my place here because I'm really good. And for the Decimal Small Press Publisher, Saturday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. Also, Comic Book Spectrum is on this channel every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Check those shows out. Joe is a wonderful host and a great insight. And the B&B you don't vacation to. There we go. Yeah. There we go. And saying hello to everyone. Everyone's saying hello back. And there's that word again. We better not find out it's an insult. Oh, not us. An homage, slowly, step by step, inch by inch. Yes, there we go. We've triggered Joe D. McPhee. Yes, and speaking of Comic Book Spectrum, here is one of the co-hosts of that, Eric S. Hawkins, the Pro Slayer himself, and a man that knows all about Kickstarters.
Yeah,
because he's funded successfully his Zombieful World of Oz books as well as Zombieful Adventures, and helped me several years ago with a Kickstarter. My one and only Kickstarter, but I couldn't have done it without this guy.
We're gonna fix that, by the way.
Oh, we are.
We are. We
okay.
are. We have things to talk about, sir.
Oh, look out. And the Eric Hawkins, actually, we are taking steps in that direction. And Sarah is here. Yes, mwah! Made it. Just got off work. She said got off work and brought freshly popped theater popcorn for the parents. Hi, glad to see you're breathing, Rodman Rabbit.
For now, yes.
Yeah.
Wait and see.
And everyone say hello. Just add another follower to the list for you, my man. It is working, and everyone's saying hello. And Sarah says, beta reading a comic for the daughter of Superman from Heroes for Kids comic. So happy to have met them in Carbondale. Excellent. That's cool. Fantastic. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Oh, excellent. Very cool. And saying hello to the Dark Pope Carl. And everyone's saying hello. And almost ran over a child in my speed walking at work today. Oh, dear God. Her mom said, you run over her, you keep her. I lost it. There's a giggle for you.
That's pretty funny.
So does she eat much, Sarah? That's what we need to know. And is there room for her up there? And not a good way to get a child. Well, there is a better way, but we'll be talking about that in the After Dark edition of this program.
I thought you were about to say, we'll be talking about that in a minute. I was like, that's news to me. All right.
And Brian's getting his popcorn out now. Going, boy, this show just took it.
Hey, I'm here for whatever direction this takes, but that would be very entertaining.
That would, it would. Yeah. Stay tuned for. You'll all have to have your proof of ID ready. And Matthew is here. Matthew, good to see you, my friend. Check out Effing Con at the end. Sometime in November. I don't have my book with me. Matthew, if you want to put a thing in for Effing Con. Also, this man here has written a book of his own, a very good superhero adventure. So anyway, everyone's saying hello and hello, and my flywheel is refusing to move, and everyone's saying hello to Matthew, and like the show, she's got her whip in both hands. Oh,
she'll get you too, guys.
Oh, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. And just republish my book so I can hopefully sell in stores. Matthew, excellent. That's good news to hear. Keep up the good work. And Ingram Spark is the new publisher. Love it.
Nice.
Absolutely love it. And we talk occasionally about different platforms to present your work, and that is one of the best, my friend, and very good. And I like this video, and so can you. Follow this young man's sterling example. You will find, whatever ails you, Brian's been able to breathe better just because you like this show.
It's a miracle.
It is.
It's like Benny Hanna's jacket, guys. I'm just saying.
Whoa, I'm telling you, there is power.
Benny Hinn, not Benny Hanna.
Benny Hanna. I don't know. It's a miracle you said Benny Hanna. I started getting hungry for some knife work here. But anyway, and speaking of knife work, check out Friday nights at 8 the Historical Fencing Guild. He's not here, but what the heck? We'll plug his show too. Matthew, thank you for being here, my friend. And thank you, Beacon. This is the name of his book, Beacon, the Hero of the Heartland. And it's a very, very good book. If you like Ms. Marvel type stories, Carol Danvers type, female empowerment, this is a very, very good, quick read.
Nice.
I read the book last year at SilCon, and I really enjoyed it. So if you pull any quotes from that, Matthew, to exploit, feel free. Oh, and speaking of books, real quick, I got to brag on my own.
Ooh, please do.
Yes. People who have been following me, like in my newsletter, and which you can sign up for at risingtide.pub, #always promote. You also who get are part of my Patreon crew know that I've been mentioning a project I can't talk about.
Sorry, I just got really excited.
Oh, me. Oh, if I stood up, you'd see how excited I am. But anyway, but no, it was announced Sunday night, I believe it was. While I'm battling the tornadic winds of Ohio, the Flinch Books. I am doing a novel for Flinch Books, the very first outside novel they have ever commissioned.
That's awesome, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much. A lot of work went into this, both on my end and also on John C. Bruning and Jim Beard's end. They are the publishers and editors of this book. And they invited me to contribute to their enterprise, and I happily agreed because I loved this one character. Now, who this character is, I cannot reveal yet. And I told Jim the other night when we had him on
Keep your
last week.
secrets.
Yes, me and my secrets. Oh, yes. You'll have to torment me to get them. Ooh. Anyway, it'll save me $20. But anyway, last week, and please on this channel catch last week's return of Clever Title Pending when we had Jim Beard on. And it's very exciting to be on there. I've gotten some good notes from Jim and John. And like I said, this book is probably close to 3 years in the making. And these guys are tough editors. You think I was tough on you, Brian, when I edited your story for Pulp Reality 4.
You made me cry in a corner. So
Jim and John had me like in the fetal position, praying for the embrace of the angel of death. But the book came out great because of it. And I'm not saying it's because of me. And also, they have announced the cover artist is going to be Mark Maddox, who does a lot of great covers for Flinch and others new pulp publishers. And we're hoping to have it ready by Pulp Fest, which is going to be in Pennsylvania, August 1st through the 4th. And
nice.
Jim and John are talking about a special signing session for me at the
awesome.
Thing. But we will have the title of the book. If I gave you the first word of it, it would give away who it is. And I told Jim this before the show started. Do you know how I promote?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I not only promote, I just can't shut up about it.
Right.
Which more people ought to do. And but the thing is, do you know how it's been killing me?
I am okay. So you have alluded to this thing,
yes,
a couple times over the last couple years.
Yes,
but the fact that you have kept it a secret as much as you have, even like from me and the Comic Book Spectrum dudes.
Yeah.
Who we would totally we share each other's projects and stuff. Tell, hey, I got this coming up. You didn't say a word about it. I mean, I think you mentioned it slightly. You were like, I got this thing I can't talk about, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, because I was afraid once I started blabbing, that where do I draw the line? So it's like, you can understand.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like I said, I'm very proud of this book, and I think you're going to all be very happy to see it when it comes out. Like I said, I think they're going to try to. I think you're probably going to hear the announcement within the next 2 or 3 weeks when it is officially.
Awesome.
And then I think it's with any luck, it'll go on sale in late July, I think, online. And then, like I said, we will have the live copies at Pulp Fest.
So what you're saying is
Yes.
follow your Facebook page, but also follow Flinch Books.
What a clever idea, Brian. I'm glad you came. You are a god among men. Also,
Hey, look what happens when I can breathe. That's all I have to say.
I know. Oxygen gets to your brain and everything. Right?
I know. It's like I'm a human.
Wow.
Right.
Oh, but anyway, please check it out. Please check it out. And Sarah's got a very important phone call. It's probably my publishers. Who knows? We'll see you soon, Sarah. Good luck with that. So anyway, that's my big news for the evening. But that's enough. You never thought you'd hear this from me, but enough about me.
Oh, stop it. Stop that. We're still going to talk about you because I want to hear more about the terrorists too eventually tonight.
Oh, you will. Good. Well, you're probably reading it right now.
Not yet. Not this moment. I've been so busy doing this Kickstarter, I haven't been able to pick it up, but it is like I'm doing it this week. I've already I kind of teased myself. What was it? What was it? Last Thursday, I think. When you sent your last blog. So yeah. No, I haven't read it yet, but I will. It's going to.
I hope you enjoy it. I hope you.
I know I will. I love the first one, and I'm not just saying this because you're my friend.
Right.
That book, the first one is very, very good. So I'm excited about the sequel.
I think you'll like the sequel too, because I had a lot of fun writing it. And I'm propelled not only by the good reviews that I have gotten online, and I just received a review that I'm going to be probably printing on my Patreon blog soon from Trevor Von Eden.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I gave him a copy of the book when we did Eclipse Con a couple months ago in Carbondale, Illinois. And I told him, I want you to tell me if I got it right. Because Trevor is a super, super intelligent guy. And he's also not afraid to tell it like it is.
Yeah.
And
those kind of reviewers are great.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you said, who was it that reviewed it?
Michaela?
As well. Yes, Michaela J.
Yes, Michaela. I've yet to put her. Yes.
Yeah.
And she gave me a good review.
I'll be sending her a copy of Memoirs to review.
Excellent.
Yeah, because I really appreciate what she has to say.
Yeah, she took me to task for one thing, which wasn't my goal when I wrote it, but it is my goal now.
There you go.
Here's the thing. I keep stressing reviews, and yes, we will get to the topic eventually. But reviews are very important, folks. When you read a review, especially small press, the way you can help them the most is leave a review either on Amazon, Goodreads, wherever you bought the book. If you bought it in person, here's a tip. If you go to Amazon and say, I purchased this directly from the author, like if you buy it from the other store, it even helps if you take a picture to accompany your review. But it doesn't have to be ornate. Doesn't have to be sound like some Elizabethan dinner or anything. It can be, I really like this book and here's why, or here's what I found wrong with the book. Here, be honest, because that helps us. So
the only annoying reviews are trolls, but even they can be helpful because reviewing any amount of reviews are helpful to get attention. On platforms. But truly, when you leave reviews, leave your honest opinion. As authors, we care about that. There are some authors that are like, just say wonderful things about me. I just want to hear good things. A good author wants your critique. We want to know if you didn't like something, why? Why didn't you like it? Because if we agree with you, we'll fix it later on in the next book. That's helpful for us.
It is. And if you did like something, point that out. Maybe we can work that into a future book again. If you enjoyed it once, you might enjoy it again.
Indeed.
So a good review is one we can learn from. And like Brian said, even the trolls, I got a 2-star. My first review was a 2-star review that came out like 10 minutes after the book got online. So I know this guy absorbed
he totally read it.
Oh, he had to have. Yeah. Yes, I'm thinking
he
that
tore
too.
that thing apart. He was saying, well, I can't put it down because I'm so mad.
That's right. My God, I'm not done tearing it into shreds yet. And I got the ebook, and boy, it's tough to break these Kindles. But anyway, so yeah, and even just that 2-star review, what that idiot didn't know, and I'll call him an idiot, it still counts as a review. So Amazon will go, hey, he got a review. Let's kick that up. So yeah, troll, hate on me, trolls.
It's like any social media.
Yeah.
Any attention is good attention.
Pretty much.
For the algorithm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, these haters I've been, and also because of the haters online, like I've told several other people, it pissed me off to the point where I thought, how can I get back at them? Because I am petty. And I thought, I know, let's make more of the thing that browned them off. So, so that's why I actually have ideas for another 7 or 8 books.
Honestly, it's a character that could continue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what was it? The original character was ongoing pulp series, right?
No, he's actually a comic book character from Needler Publications,
Okay.
and he stuck around for about 10 years or so in his own book and in Exciting Comics. The initial stories were written by a man named Richard Hughes, who wrote virtually everything from the American Comics group. He was like Stan Lee, or one of the classic old writers who could write like superheroes, romance, war, westerns, anything.
Yeah, because they had to survive.
Yeah, because they didn't get royalties or anything back then. They got a strict page rate.
Yeah.
And
what was it like? Half the time it was like a penny a word, something crazy like that.
Per page, it was like $10 per page or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Which back in the day was not horrible money.
Yeah.
Now you probably go looking for your editor with a shotgun. But anyway,
I was gonna say it's still $10 a page.
So the writer is the last person to get paid on any project if he gets paid at all. But anyway, the thing is, he first it was Richard Hughes, and then one of the writers that followed him was Patricia Highsmith, who wrote a series of LGBTQ novels. And she didn't care for her work in comics, but she was pretty damn good at it, was the thing.
Nice.
And she went on from writing The Black Terror to writing these novels and getting a lot of notoriety and acclaim for them. So there's a good pedigree.
I bet your reviewer would have loved that information.
Probably so. Yeah, I can just see him. Yeah, probably doesn't like the fact that I swapped the guy's race out, and then I'm bringing the rainbow flag into it too. So I figure in for a penny, in for a pound. You know,
when you're a Nazi, you just can't win. What can I say?
I know, and why should they, right? And anyway, Dawn says that she has become a pirate over the weekend. Well, good for you.
Arrgh.
Arrgh. That's what it sounds like when you become a pirate. The surgery's awful. And Dawn, you've always been a pirate. Take it from this Viking. That's right. And hello, Michaela J. Mwah. How you doing, sweetheart? Hope you're doing well. And by the way, we talked about her earlier. Please check out author Michaela Jade at indiecb.org, and because she does book reviews like Brian's going to submit, and she gives you an honest book review. And here's something. Now, I think I'm not going to be revealing too much. You'll get 2 reviews for the price of one. One will be one you can post and share in public. The other one's a deep dive into your stuff.
Nice.
With suggestions on maybe how to improve it, what to keep doing, etc. She, like I said, she's very insightful on mine.
That's
I totally recommend her. Seriously. And everyone's saying hello to our darling Michaela, as well they should. And now we have caught up with the stuff. And Matthew, the answer is yes. And don't check out TikTok, though. There is an imposter. Oh, TikTok, rather. There's an imposter there.
I knew it. I knew
so.
I saw you there. No, it wasn't you. Okay, I'm not crazy. Really. About this. Okay.
Well, I wonder why they said yes to all the flirting I did. But anyway, Carl said Dawn has nearly met our Muncie clan goal too. Well, good for her. Good for her. Check out Muncie. Carl's got a book on that available on Lulu.com.
There you go.
But now, friends and neighbors, let's talk about crowdfunding. For those of you who don't know, crowdfunding it's not cyber panhandling. First, let's get that out of the
Who
gate.
says that?
Some people in the writing community, the
Really?
like real books and stuff. Yeah, I did a convention in Louisville. Well, the one we were at.
Oh, an
This
Imaginarium?
Imaginarium. And we did a thing on alternate ways to fund your book.
Yeah.
And we had 2 or 3 people in the audience that, well, we're here to shout you down because you can't do that sort of thing. That should be illegal. And we're like,
what?
Why? Yeah. And he's like, well, it's unethical and everything because you're demanding money from people. I said, one, we're not demanding anything. It's a volunteer army here that supports us. And 2, it's not like they don't get anything for it.
Yeah, that's silly, man. No,
yeah,
that's silly. Now, look, here's the thing. They probably got burned by a campaign or 2. And then they got their feelings hurt, which, hey, I get it. It's happened to me. But most people who are on these who do these campaigns do so. A lot of people do it so they can just have one-on-one interaction with their customers. They don't have to go through a publisher. They don't have to go through, they can actually engage with their readership. A lot of people do it for that. I mean, obviously to make money. That's of course the biggest reason. But I mean, it has changed the game. I would have asked those people had I been in that panel. I would have asked them how many books they've made.
Exactly. And I have found, at least in the book field, the biggest amount of gatekeeping and ignorance comes from people who have done the least work.
So they have an idea of how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, or how they think it's supposed to work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't take them at all seriously. And I promise, Matthew, I would say it's effingcon.com. That will be this November in Effingham, Illinois.
That's awesome.
Right in the heart of the
effingcon.com.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm going to be there, and we're trying to get him some more people to get some tables down there. But it's going to be a great gaming convention at the mall on the south end of town where SilCon was held. But we'll have more information, and if you sign up for my monthly insider information newsletter at risingtide.pub, you'll learn more about it. Hashtag always promote. And check it out if you have a book or game to promote. I have several. Anyway, thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it, man. But anyway, but yeah. And the thing is also I found that, like publishing, I tell people that we had to wait in a lot of ways for the technology to catch up to us.
Yeah.
For what we wanted. And back in the day, there were people that put out their own comics like Eastman and Laird.
Yeah. Yeah. But they had to go through a lot to do that.
Exactly.
For sure. I mean, I was a part of a comics anthology in 2012, which was before Kickstarter, was before it was really super easy. There was like 1 or 2 publisher or printers who would actually print comics.
Right.
And we went through, I didn't even know you could do that. Mm-hmm. But back in the 80s, they didn't have that. You had just independent printers who you had to go in and know the size and all that stuff. That's actually one of the reasons that the original TMNT series was not standard comic book size.
Right.
Yeah.
And also they only had limited funds, which is why there were only 3,000 copies printed.
Yep.
Of course today a lot of comic creators going 3,000 that many, sort of thing. But
indie comics for sure.
But back in the day, getting 3,000 comics, they're probably thinking, oh my God, mortgage the house, mortgage mom's house, mortgage everybody's house on the block. Fortunately, they came through, and it was because they were able to get this done.
Yeah. So. Well, they also had, I know in their specific situation, Eastman and Laird, they had a backer. One of their uncles gave them quite a bit of money. I mean, I think it was like $3,000 to $5,000, which back in the 80s was a lot of money.
That's serious money,
Yeah. So they had a good investor that helped them. And they're very open about that, which I appreciate, because a lot of people who make it big, they're like, I've done all this by myself. And
Yeah.
that neither one of them say that. They're like, oh, we had plenty of help. So,
Oh, yeah.
but no, yeah, I mean, they did. Plus, they had to do big numbers because print on demand wasn't a thing then,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So you had to print. Printers wouldn't print just 20 copies of something usually.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I mean, if they did, it wasn't taken very seriously. So they went big with it, and they like hand delivered a lot of their books
Mhm.
to stores.
Yeah, and back then it was more of a gamble, like Carl says here. The fun of self-publishing in the 1980s, and Carl will remember that sort of thing
Yeah,
because he
yeah,
he published before print on demand. Same with Molly Daniels, Charles F. Millhouse. These guys were, basically blazing the trail for people like you and me.
hmm
The Johnny Come Latelys. But yeah, and that's another thing is that a lot of projects now get funded because you can ask people for help. Here's
yeah,
another benefit. I'll give you a real good benefit. Get a mailing list
absolutely.
because even if you don't do a newsletter or an email like I say I do, you want that list of people
Yeah,
because Amazon will never tell you, Diamond will never tell you who bought your book.
yeah,
This is your way to talk to these people directly.
hmm
And these are the people that want to be in your inner circle. So
right.
it's worth it to create a spreadsheet or have someone make it for you. It doesn't matter. And get these names and addresses, and they're yours to use because, like I said,
Man,
they volunteered to be there. So, and they can opt out also. Give them a way to
absolutely.
opt out.
And I think honestly, like social media is huge in promoting,
Uh-huh.
but having an email list, like social media, you're fighting so many algorithms. You're fighting a thousand and one things that are going to pull people's attention away from you.
Mhm.
But if you have someone's email address and you use it appropriately, so
Yes.
looking at you,
Yes.
spammers. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I read a book about like fulfilling Kickstarters and things like that because I don't know, I do research sometimes,
Oh,
and it said this book said to send an email during your campaign every day, and I'm like, that is a nightmare. Like if I'm your reader and
yeah.
you send me an email every single day, I will unfollow you and unsubscribe so fast. Um,
Yeah.
that's so much. Now,
Yeah.
I get it when you're trying to promote something, maybe
Right.
once or twice a month,
Right.
3 times maybe. No more than that. More
Mhm.
than that, you're getting annoying, you're getting super pushy.
Right.
On Facebook, it's different. Post that crap every hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on in an email, and it's good to just it's good to again interact one-on-one with your readers.
Mhm.
I can't tell you how many people because I send out a monthly newsletter, and I usually have some sort of topic, something that I'm thinking
Right.
about that I'm
Yeah.
just talking about, and I've had so many people over the years email me back, and we've corresponded about the topic. They're like either it's helped them, or
Yes.
they wanted to talk about it further. That stuff builds relationships with your readers. And
Exactly.
that's the key. And I think that is what crowdfunding also gives you. It
Mhm.
gives you that aspect of relationship that you don't have otherwise.
That's right.
You don't, unless you're at like a book signing or something like that at a store. But
Yeah.
even then, that's limited. A Comic Con, you're in the sales mode, right? But
Right.
when you are doing a campaign, you're corresponding with these people. You're sending them messages. Almost all of the shipping stuff that we do, it's a personal thing more
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
than if you're just buying something from a store.
Right, exactly. It's a more personal touch, and like I said, you're not going to get the addresses any other way. So
Yeah,
you might as well get them while you're able to, because the odds of it are real low. But what if something happened to Amazon tomorrow
Or Facebook. When
or
Meta went
Facebook?
down, what was it, a month or two ago? Everybody
Yes.
freaked out. What happens then?
Oh
You've
my
got
God.
an
Yeah,
email
and
list.
people, they thought like MySpace would never come to an end.
Exactly.
It's close enough that it might as well. But
I was gonna say it did make a resurgence because now it's all about music and stuff.
yeah,
But
they rebranded themselves. But yeah, it's so there. I don't think there's anything wrong with crowdfunding. Now the thing is, it does take a lot of time to set up. I mean, I've got one I've had planned for over a year, but because I'm busy writing, I haven't been able to finish setting it up. But like, how long does it take you, for instance, Brian, to completely set up a page from the idea that, okay, I'm going to get this, I'm going to launch a Kickstarter, to the time when you say, okay, put your name in and be notified on, upon release?
yeah, I would say, man, like, well, now not as much time as you think anymore. Now it's a couple months of good solid work and planning and things like that because we've done 7 others. But our first one, we took a year. We took a year to research. We took a year to figure out, how to work the shipping and the rewards and all that stuff, and then how to construct a page. Um, what pages do better than others depending on whether or not you have a video. That's huge.
Yeah,
These little things that you don't think about.
yeah.
So yeah, it took us about a year. The second one took about 3 months. And since then, it's been about a month and a half of really solid prep. But I mean, we first met about this campaign in January. We had a meeting, me and my wife and our assistant. We had a meeting saying this is coming up. This is on the dock. And so everything we did moving forward, we also, of course, had to depend on my health, was thinking about this campaign. And now we're in crunch time. So we're constructing the page, we're getting all the fine tuning in, and it'll be ready in less than a month now. But it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. And I would say now, I mean, I would call us Kickstarter veterans at this point. This is our 8th success, or well, I don't know if it'll be successful. This is our 8th campaign after 7 successful ones.
And it will be successful.
We'll see. We are asking for the most money we've ever asked for on a campaign. Now the book is more expensive than a comic book, so that'll help even things out a little bit.
Right.
But I also never want to get ahead of myself. Like, I'm always nervous before a campaign, and I don't think that'll ever end. There's nerves because it's like, especially like you always have to take into consideration like the economy and things like that. And right now it's not the greatest. So although they keep saying it's good, but I don't know. I'm seeing $5 milk. So
yeah. Well, the thing is, I would say that the economy is showing signs of recovery from the lockdown in 2020, but then we still have the news. We still have problems in Ukraine. We still have trial of a former president. Don't get political in the comments, people, please.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna read them.
We're really. We won't, I promise you, we will not, and it could get some wrenches taken away. Okay, we'll put it that way. But anyway, there are all kinds of conflicts in the news right now, and that kind of like brings down people's mood, and sometimes makes them a little reluctant to part with some money.
Yeah. And well, if you're afraid that things are not going well, in the country, you're not going to spend money that you don't think you need to spend, which is responsible. But it's still, you never really know what to expect. I mean, it's like going to shows a lot of times. People, you could go to a Comic-Con thinking you're going to rock everybody's socks off, and you barely break even.
Right.
And it's just like, what have I done? But I mean, saying, we are Kickstarter veterans at this point, it still takes us a couple months to get everything, squared away before we launch.
Well, and you brought up something about the nerves going in, which I understand, especially with Kickstarter, because there are different platforms. Kickstarter is the most robust, has the
Yes.
most tools for you to use, and it's the one people think of first, usually when they talk about crowdfunding. But the thing with Kickstarter, it is all or nothing. You either make your goal, you get your money, less a percentage for the credit card handling, which is price of doing business, and you should figure that into your total. Whereas places like Indiegogo and GoFundMe also take out that percentage, but you get whatever is pledged.
And I think that's why a lot of people, unless they've established a real presence on Indiegogo, for example, I know a lot of people would rather do Indiegogo than Kickstarter for reasons,
right?
And they've really camped out there, and they've built an audience that points people directly to Indiegogo. Right. But if you're just going in and you're trying, the urgency of Kickstarter, like the fact that if this doesn't get funded, no one gets anything, I don't get any money, no one gets any product, that is, I think, adds to the success of Kickstarter's platform and their business strategy. And they've recently, this is brand new, which we will actually be doing this on the campaign. They are now allowing for a limited time after the campaign is over for people to still back.
I've seen that. Yes.
Now it's only, you can, as the creator, you can opt out of that, and you can control how long that lasts. So it's, for us, it's going to be up until we ship. It'll be open, but you still have to reach your goal, or it doesn't, or nothing happens. No one gets anything. So I'm glad they didn't change that. I think the minute the Kickstarter changes that, the success rate will go down.
I think so.
I hope they never do. I hope they never do.
Right. No, I totally get that. Yeah, I read that from some notes from Matt Knowles, who also runs a series of successful campaigns.
Yes, he does.
And good stuff too. But yeah, and Luke Stone, I forgot to mention Luke Stone's new crowdfunding thing. I'm blanking on the name of it because the aphasia is getting to me. But anyway, there's more than one platform, each with its own advantages and disadvantages. And something else
is also now its own platform.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, and BackerKit was like for high-end people that had, like a Kara Nicole that deals like in 5 or more figures.
Not us lowly plebeians down here.
Yeah, and she gets it with like in 20 seconds of launch. God bless that woman. I love her so. But the thing is also, it is an emotional roller coaster.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because you mentioned, like, you have to make your goals, and it happened to me and Eric Hawkins on my comic book several years ago, and I see it happening all the time. Nita and Daphne on their show talk about this, like in terms of stretch goals, but like somebody can cancel out and you don't make your goal, or when you make a goal, like your unofficial ones, these stretch goals, and some you're climbing incrementally, and then you say, okay, we're announcing this, we've gone $1,000 over our total or whatever. We're going to give you metal jock straps, each and every one of you, autographed by the artist. And then somebody backs out, and then you've made your goal, but then your total goes below that.
It's happened to me more than once.
Yeah,
it happens. Yeah, it happens, man. That's the one thing that I wish Kickstarter would change. Is you pledge, but the money doesn't come out until everything's over. Right. I wish there would be some sort of like freeze, like the money, like you're somehow obligated once you pledge something, that even though it's not taken out. I don't know how it works, whatever. But Indiegogo,
yes,
you pay for it, it's done that day. I wish Kickstarter would figure something out with their system like that, because so many times backer or creators get screwed because people will pledge however much money, and they didn't budget, or something has come up. And you know what, most of the time, us creators, if you message us and you say, hey, I'm so sorry, this thing happened. It was unexpected. I have to back out or I have to lower my pledge. That's happened to me plenty of times.
Oh
As
yeah,
as much as that sucks, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
hey, you came out, you went out of your way to message me and explain it, and I appreciate that.
yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
Right.
about the people who they pledge $50, and then 3 weeks later, when it's crunch time and we're almost done with the campaign, they drop their pledge. That
Right.
crap drives me insane. That makes me want to
Yeah.
go find that person and throat punch them.
I understand that, and I think you should be able to. Maybe the solution is allow the person running the campaign to free up those funds.
Yeah.
You
Or
know, like if
just
somebody said,
allow.
hey, my car broke down. I need that $25 to pay for a new engine. I found a place that does $25 engines. They got them on Woot now. But it's like, come to the creator and plead your case. Because then if the creator doesn't say, okay, yes, I release your funds, then you
Yeah.
can go online and you can start leaving them reviews.
Maybe. Yeah.
So and so's a dick. That
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, I don't know, because you're always going to have negative and positive things with no matter
you
what the
will.
solution is.
Mhm.
But yeah, that for me, that is the biggest fear and the worst part of Kickstarter
Yes.
is the backed out pledges. That stuff,
Mhm.
whew, that fires me up.
Hey, Parallax Spectre, how you doing? And Carl Westman says you should take a while to make sure that everything is going to work and that you can break even or make
Yeah.
money. And he further says, I think some folks rush in and then they are sorry. There's always buyer's remorse.
Well, there's also people, or I don't know if he's talking about folks who buy or folks who rush into creating a Kickstarter, because I know
Either
folks who
or.
have done that too.
Yeah, true.
That they'll jump in and they're like, I know a couple people. I will not name names, but
Okay.
I know a couple people that they've just, like, literally a week prior, there was like, I'm going to launch a Kickstarter. Zero work, zero prep, not a big fan base at all. They haven't worked on anything, and then they get
Yeah.
mad when the Kickstarter fails. And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you didn't put any work into it in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's frustrating to see people who are genuinely good at what they do.
Right. I agree.
Just they make those decisions and it kind of shoots themselves in their foot.
Yeah. Well, and Dawn says, indiecd.org. She sneaks that plug in there, knowing I will read it. There was a hiccup, but Joe kept everyone in the loop. And see, that's it. The communication is central. Because Brian, how many times have we backed something, they don't come through with it, and then suddenly they ghost everyone?
Oh, all the time. It happens
Yeah.
it happens so often. And I
Yeah.
mean, it happens so often in general, to the point where I'm blessed to have so many friends who are creators, and I don't have a ton of money anymore. So I only back what my friends do, because there's a lot of them. So
Yeah.
I rarely back a project by done by someone I don't know.
Same with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I got burned a lot a
Yeah, I
few
did
years
too.
ago from it. So, yeah. And Joe D. McPhee says, from this small press publisher, crowdfunding requires you to have an
Yes.
audience prior to launching. And that's where you should be promoting. You should have a social presence. Now, Joe, you've got your shows. You've got 2 shows. You make personal appearances at Chicago at C2E2. You have a newsletter. You're doing everything right. And you are right. You should have a presence, an audience that follows you, and maybe adjust your expectations accordingly. But yeah, you're doing everything right, and I think the people that do what you are doing, what Brian does, are the people that are going to succeed.
Yeah, and I would say, for someone who is just starting
Yeah.
out on a crowdfunding campaign, um, start low.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
I mean, and what I mean by that is, I don't mean like, because I know a lot of people are like, dream big, big risks is big reward. There are big risks, big reward. That's a thing, but also be smart. Like, don't be dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, your first campaign, you don't really know what to expect. Um, Only plan on maybe like 100 books, 50 books, something
Mhm.
like that, just to
Yeah.
get your feet wet.
Yeah.
Set it to $500 and see what happens. You know, the good thing about Kickstarter
Yeah.
is if you can see that it's not going to work out, you can
Mhm.
cancel it, and it's actually doesn't count as an unsuccessful campaign. It just
Exactly.
counts as a canceled campaign, which
Mhm.
is very different in the eyes of Kickstarter. And what I've seen someone do that before.
Mhm.
Damian Waldron launched, it didn't work out.
Right.
He canceled the campaign, and
Yeah.
then came back and launched a smaller goal and
Mhm.
got it
Yeah.
because he learned that, okay, I went too far here, didn't work out, let's revamp, and he did it, and it was successful.
That's great. That's great.
So yeah,
Good to hear.
it's always good to shoot realistically at first.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I have to, and this is a personal thing with me. I tend to not follow, support campaigns where like somebody says, "Oh, I'm going to put out like this, 500-page book, and my goal is $25."
Yeah,
Because then they're just trying to gig the algorithms there.
yeah.
And then they can say, "Oh yeah, I got $50 for my book, so I get to say
I
I've got
doubled my
200%.
campaign.
Yeah, I've got a 200% success rate." Sort
Yeah,
of
those kind
malarkey.
of tricks that drives me nuts.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think Kickstarter's going to cut down. I've heard they're going to clamp down on that sort of behavior, which I
I think,
welcome.
yeah, they've actually stepped in quite often here recently. There was a very short stint, which I'm glad it was short. But there were like bot backers that were scammers that were
Yeah.
coming in and backing projects for $100 or more,
Mm-hmm.
and then trying to get people, messaging people, trying to get them to click on their links.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course those funds were not real.
Right.
So Kickstarter saw this pledge,
Yeah.
and no one was ever going to get that money.
Uh-huh.
So I had a couple friends where that happened to them, and they had to contact Kickstarter and say, "Hey, I know this is a bot, and the campaign is saying I've reached my goal, and I know I haven't.
Yeah.
And that's going to screw me over in the end because I'm not going to have enough money, and I'm going to owe everybody this product."
Right.
So Kickstarter nipped that in the bud pretty quick, and I'm
Yeah, I
really
got the same
thankful.
thing happen to me on my Spencer Spook comic.
Did it really?
Yeah, we got somebody that pledged like an inordinate amount of money. Then they upped their pledge to like $500. So like overnight, we were like it's almost at 71% of our goal,
Yeah.
and then they canceled.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I was looking at them, well, who does this sort of thing? And you can check what they pledged to. And this thing had pledged, and I say it's a thing because now I think it's a bot, like you said.
Yeah.
But they pledged to a couple hundred campaigns so they could get that little sticker about
Yep.
favored nation status, and then they canceled all but about 8 of them. And so I sent screenshots of that.
Yeah.
I made screenshots of all of that, sent it to Kickstarter and said, "What can you guys do about it?" And they said, "We will look into it. Thank you." And then I saw that they got blocked.
Good.
So, justice was done. They do police things.
Yeah,
hey,
no,
Bill,
they
how you
do.
Doing?
They step in quite often, and I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah, I am too. And Dawn says that crap should piss you off. It does. Carl says, yes, I've seen some projects that look like they were done in one night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Donna and Parallax Spectre have got something going on there. We don't need to get involved with that. Ooh, they mentioned donuts, though. And from the desk of a small price publisher, that doesn't bother me as much as backers who know that info is bad and it drops at the end because they charge the card. Yeah.
That's bad too. Now that I have not experienced that, so I'm thankful for that. I've had a couple people who their card didn't go through, and then they didn't answer their email for 6 months.
Yeah.
But once they did, they fixed it, and it was fine. But it was just like, bro, here's the thing. Look, this is, as a creator, good grief, folks. If you back a Kickstarter project, check your emails, because especially with your surveys, a lot of times, which this also drives me crazy, but it can be helpful. We cannot send, like, you can't put your information in when you pay, like your address and stuff like that. All that's done through a survey that is sent after the fact. Well,
Which
a
is why
lot
it's
of
important
people,
to fill those things out.
right? But a
Yeah.
lot of people, because we're so used to just paying for something and our address is attached to that,
Mhm.
they don't see the email for a couple weeks or
Mhm.
months. I mean,
Yeah.
I have literally had a person who didn't see a survey for a year
Mhm.
and emailed me and was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry." And because they were so apologetic, I was like, "Okay, that's fine. You know, we'll get it sent to you." But had it been someone who was just like, "Where's my book?" Blah 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 blah, I'd have been like, "Listen,
Yeah.
like you didn't check your email. This is your fault."
Yeah.
Um,
I got one like that for my
oh
book.
really?
And she lived in England, and she, after almost a year, she was like, "Well, where's my book? Wait, did you ever send my book?" And I said, "You never filled out your survey.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
no idea who to send this to." And she, instead of filling out the survey, she just sent me her email address or her physical address. So I thought, okay, fine. So I sent the book
Yeah,
out, and as far as I know, she's got it. But I didn't bother to follow up on it,
yeah,
because like after a year, and I know I don't. They used to post on Kickstarter that after a certain amount of time, like 6 to 12 months, I don't remember what it was, you are no longer obligated to fulfill the pledge.
yes, yeah. There is a statute of limitations there, and a
Yeah,
lot of people, um, which I don't do this.
right.
Me personally, I don't like it, but a lot of people, when you send or when you get a digital copy of a book,
Uh-huh.
you might have a limited time to download that onto a device,
Right. I agree.
or before that connection with that digital book from the creator goes away.
Right. Hmm.
Which we don't do that. We have Google Docs that, that link will always be there as long as we have our Google Doc.
Right. Right.
But I mean, we have dropped if the people who bought the trade paperback from the first Kickstarter we ever did, the link for that digital book is gone because we no longer utilize Dropbox.
Right.
But I mean, that hung around for a few years. So if you didn't download it to a device by that time, that's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
We are not your mommy. Okay.
right, exactly.
And Grant Lankert, glad to have you here. Hey, Brian, but which one did I mean? Feel free to fight to the death over it. That one. Uh, anyway, the Jello wrestling will happen on the after hours segment here. So,
Absolutely.
and Carl said he backed the campaign, paid the money, and then didn't do his survey because he turned out to be a scammer. BKM dealt with him once and understands. Okay,
Oh,
yeah. I deal with these people. And Michaela Jade says, "Hey, I had a book sent to us in January. We MJ Books, which is her review and editorial services moniker, didn't get it till March. I emailed the writer and let her know I would move her to the front of the line, and she was happy with that. And communication
yeah.
is key to all this. You don't have to do it every day, but just be regular with it." And he spent some time brainstorming cross promo with B-Rod today. There's something else
Yes.
you can do.
Yes, that's huge. Grant and I are going to be running our campaigns. His is for his trade paperback of Beowulf,
Yeah.
and mine will be the novelization of Memoirs of an Angel. We'll be running them at the same time,
Mhm.
and so we're going to cross promote. We're going to share
Excellent.
each other's stuff. We've put our heads together about maybe like a nice, kind of reward for people that do
Sure.
back both.
Sure.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's something you can do because a lot of people cross promote. I've done it before too. I
And
think
it seems
Grant and I have done it before. So
then it works.
yeah,
So
yeah,
Eric Hawkins says, I had someone fill out a survey 2 years late with Kickstarter. You can't access the backer surveys after
yeah.
1 year. So yeah, be prompt when you get that, and keep an eye out for the deadlines because it may go into your spam or your junk mail folder.
Mhm.
And yeah, Eric, I've had that happen too. And here we go. Where's my Moon Knight Airwick? Leia is righteously indignatious, so as well she should be. And let's see if we have anything else. Oh yes, I want to get to this from Jody McPhee from the Desktop Small Press Publisher. 2 bits advice he will give to new crowdfunding creators. 1, plan to come out with the book on your own steam and not rely solely on the campaign. I think that is vital. Especially since some many campaigns are all or nothing. but you don't want to disappoint your fans, and especially because of the places like Indiegogo where you will get the money, even if it may not be enough.
Yeah, the only pushback that I would give, I'll tell you this. I mean, I'm just be upfront with it. I think for us in our situation currently, if this Kickstarter doesn't work, the book will not be coming out. And because we can't come up with our own, I mean, it would take years, but we have too many bills that, I mean, I'm not working because of my health right now.
Right.
Like these kind of situations, I don't know. I think if you're in a place where you can come up with the funds for your book on your own and then launch a Kickstarter for extra padding, I think that's totally fine. That's great. But a lot of creators, the reason that they do these crowdfunding is because they can't afford it without those funds. And that's where we're at right now. So I would push back on number one. I would absolutely agree with number two.
Yes, set goals to a reasonable amount.
Yes.
I agree with that too. I agree with that too. Have at least enough to cover the absolute minimums.
Yeah.
Because you can print via, print on demand for a lot of these things. If you're doing some sort of print book. So
yeah,
unless you're doing like a Brandon Sanderson deluxe wood engraved box drawn with Brandon's own blood. That sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, again, using this current campaign that we're doing as an example, our goal is $5,500, biggest goal we've ever had, but that's how much we need to cover the printing costs, to cover the money we've spent on editors, the money that we've already spent on different things to produce this book.
Yes.
So we need that to cover all of those and also give us a little cushion on this campaign so that we can continue to make more. That's the goal, but we aren't asking for $20,000 or someone asked for $40,000 for issue 1 floppy copy of a book, of a comic book.
Yes.
And I mean, I know
someone else that did that.
We're talking 30 pages.
Yes.
And you do not need 40. What they wanted that the Kickstarter campaign to pay their mortgage,
right?
Is so they could make the comic, and that's what they wanted. That is not what they got.
That's not what it's for.
It's not what it's for. So yes, so Joe is absolutely right.
Totally right. 100%.
Figure out how much it's going to cost you with everything. Figure out the exact amount that you need, and then plan accordingly. Plan reasonably, and then hopefully you get more. Hopefully you can utilize those stretch goals. To kingdom come. That'd be great. But let your initial goal be something realistic.
Exactly right. And Grant said, I just got a message from a dude asking if he could trade the 6 issues of Beowulf for the trade paperback. I'm like, come on, man. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
That's not how any of this works.
No.
Exactly.
That's dumb. Who would ever that's dumb. That makes me mad, Grant.
Let's see. Cancel email. Okay, anyway. Parallax Spectre, Leia says, hashtag unsubscribe, hashtag scammer, hashtag Eric, I got you a t-shirt. And from this was Press Publisher, cross promotion is good as long as both creators are of the same mind for promoting. There we go. Yes. And let's see. I got some more stuff here. And all right, there we go. And wow, Grant, that wouldn't work anywhere else either. And Eric Hawkins says, be prepared for weird stuff like your printer moving and getting way behind you. Then when you get your books, a few days later, you're missing the shipping mailers they were supposed to send. Gosh, Eric, who would that have ever happened to?
And I will say this, when those kind of things happen to you, communicate that with your backers.
Yes.
Going back to what we said earlier, communication is everything. Back when I did the Nebulizer 2 and my health went to hell, and everything slowed down, I sent at least one message a month to my backers, just an update. Even there were a couple months where I couldn't do anything.
Right.
And I explained that, and I told them what was going on. No one complained. If they were upset, they never told me. And everyone was super supportive because I was transparent. You know,
Exactly.
I was communicative, and I let people know, hey, this thing happened to me, and this is what's going on. And I didn't let people just like wonder, WTF, what happened? Where's my stuff? You know, because if you ghost somebody, if you're too embarrassed to say anything to people, they're going to come up with their own reasons in their head, and it's not going to be a good light. You're not going to be in a good light in their
Yeah.
head. Trust
Yeah.
me.
Exactly.
People always assume the worst in those kind of situations.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of touches, I want to just touch on this real briefly. It doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about. But Matthew Creek said, I met a guy who hates Get covers, and it's a service that will, helps you put together your cover for your book. Any thoughts? You're always going to have people that are dissatisfied with any service. And if it's what you use and you had a good experience with them, then they're okay. How's that? Yeah, it just solved everyone's problem there. And my book what is my book about? It's about 250 pages, Matthew, and it's excellent. Anyway, but I'm only going by what other people tell me. Check me out on Amazon.com. Do a search for The Terrors, or go to my personal page, and it has a link, and you'll see it there. Let's see, I think we got one more comment here. And
I think he was asking me what my book was about.
Your book. Well, yeah, that's a problem. We have two Brians here. You're right. And I assume every question's about me, but anyway.
I do too.
Yeah, right. We'll be talking more about imposter syndrome as the weeks go on.
Well, I will say, and I don't know if you want to say this now or not, but you may or may not see this Brian on another podcast that the other Brian does later on to answer a lot of the questions about this book and why I'm making it. It might happen. It just might happen.
There's a real good chance of it, because we are going to try to have a season that lasts more than one show. So,
that's a good goal, I think.
It's going to take a lot, but like I told Jim Beard on the show last Thursday, which y'all want to check out because it's real good. It's really funny. That we just do one episode seasons to make the DVD affordable for everyone.
You're not that far behind a BBC show.
That's true. That's true.
But no, to briefly answer your question, my book is called Memoirs of an Angel, the Grey Pilgrim, and it is about two angels who enter the mind of a demon-possessed boy to save him from the clutches of the Dark Kingdom and from his destiny that may undo the very order of the cosmos. So,
based on this comic book.
Yeah, based on this comic book series. And trust me, it's funny. I got a dear friend of mine read the PDF and sent me a message, and he said, look, because he's been an avid fan of the comic, and he said, I was not prepared. He said there's so much more to this story than is in the book, in the comic book. He said this is like a full-on high fantasy novel, and it is. One of the reasons, I mean, the biggest reason I switched from comics to prose is because of my health. Making a comic book all by yourself is a lot of work.
Yes.
If I wanted to do what I want to do with these stories, it would take me entirely too long to do it with my health the way it is. So as prose, it's, believe it or not, faster for me to do that. And
I make it look sexy, so
yeah, I mean, you definitely do. But no, you got me off track. I'm all kerfuddled now. But no, the biggest reason was my health that I made that pivot. However, now that I've made the pivot, I have discovered this is the realm I should have been telling the story in from the beginning. And so as much as I still adore the comic book, I love the work that we did on the comic. The book, the novel is 1,000 times better. I cannot wait for people to read this thing, because this is what I wanted it to be from the beginning. I just didn't realize it. So
Yeah.
there's your tease for what the book is until we come back at a later date and discuss it more.
There you go. And we have
Yeah.
28 followers for the book right now. Let's see if we can't make
Awesome.
it to at least 30
That would
before
be
the end
great.
of the show. So if you have not back the, and again, this is not financially or ethically or any kind of bind you to buying this book. Not even Jim Lee or Stan Lee.
Oh,
But
that'd be
anyway,
awesome though.
that would be,
Yeah.
especially Stan. But anyway, check out that address at the bottom there and go there and just click on notify me at launch. And
Yeah.
this helps Brian with not this one, the other one with the algorithms, because Kickstarter will see that people are interested and they'll push the notice of his book to more eyes getting to see it. So it does help one of our own here. So
it does, and I'm very grateful for those who in the last couple hours have jumped in. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
For those who are bummed that it is no longer a comic book series, which I understand, this is not just a prose novel. It's an illustrated novel that has all of my illustrations in it. So I mean, we're talking like an illustration a page almost throughout the entire book, and it is my art, black and white, really gritty looking, cool art. So so yeah, I mean, if you love the comic and you're sad, don't be, because you still get all the art and you get more story.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. And Ace Bonnie, good to see you. Haven't talked to you in ages. Okay, if not Stan Lee, how about Bruce Lee? Oh man, now we got it.
Zombie
now
Bruce Lee, even better.
Zombie Bruce Lee, you betcha. And Grant
using
Laker
his
says
intestines as nunchucks.
There we go. Now I've got a book in mind. Anyway, everybody in the chat, follow both B-Rod and Grant's campaigns.
Yes.
It doesn't obligate you to buy anything, but it helps them with the algorithms. Please take just a moment and follow those links, and please give these guys some love. Now, Parallax Spectre has a way to differentiate the two of us, B-Fez and B-Rod.
I love this.
I do too.
That is like great.
This. You may like this one better, or BKM and the Bunnymen.
I like it even more. I even have an image now.
There we go.
For my Rodman Rabbit persona.
There we go. See,
thank you,
Sarah will be grateful. Not sure if you're talking about my campaign or B-Rod's, but thanks either way. Grant, I'm talking about both these guys.
Yeah,
you're both in the rising tide here. So let's.
And I'll say this.
Yeah.
If you back both of ours, you're gonna get some goodies from us. So so that, I mean, that's the beauty of cross promotion. If you back both of our books, we'll throw something extra in for you.
There you go. And you're helping one of our own. And everybody's saying hello to each other. And I think this is a good place to call it, don't you?
I think this has been a great show. Thank you for allowing me to jabber about my things.
Well, I'm always glad to take a critical look at your things. But anyway, and I got nothing but good things to say.
Oh, yeah. Parallax says something. Good.
Yeah, and where's the Grant link? I'll join too. Grant, you've got a wrench. Make sure your address gets put into this chat, and we'll put it on the air here so that other people can take advantage of it, okay? And thank you, Dawn. Appreciate you being here, Lon. And so anyway, so Grant, when you get a chance, please do that. We'll stop what we're doing and pimp for you a little bit. But anyway, yeah. Anyway,
Vogue.
So anyway, thank you all for being here. You guys make this possible. You guys are really fantastic. Thank you for giving this guy here some love, because he definitely deserves it. And speaking of giving some love, that's what Patreon is for. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where, for an affordable stipend as low as $1 a month, you can get all kinds of cool things from people like these people on the screen, and especially Brian and myself. And Brian has his own Patreon, where he's got all manner of wonderful things that you can take advantage of.
Yeah, and for those, I'm going to cut in really quick. For those who didn't hear at the beginning of the show, if you want a sneak preview of the book of Memoirs of an Angel, the Gray Pilgrim, illustrated novel, the first 4 chapters are available in PDF form for any backer starting at $2 a month. That is that is less than a cup of coffee in some places.
Seriously, that's not even a
yeah.
down payment for a
And
cup of
quite
coffee.
frankly, I'll tell you this: you can jump in, pledge, get the story, and next month, Netflix the thing and just cancel it. You won't hurt my feelings because it's still going to help me.
There you
But
go.
yeah, so if you want that sneak peek, head over to patreon.com/Brian Rodman.
Or if you want to see what the first draft of the next Terrors book looks like, that's for $5 and up. Check me out at Brian K. Morris, all one word, lowercase. And thank you for your consideration, one and all. Also, speaking of consideration, we held that because we have the book in the other room because we're referring to it right now. Yes, oh my goodness, this thing has been a thank you everyone who's bought a copy of it so far. And thank you to Jeffrey Hayes for putting that wonderful cover together, as well as putting this cover together for Stormgate Press, this cover together for Stormgate Press, and this also an award-winning cover for Stormgate Press.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah. What it means is that Charles F. Millhouse has good taste in cover artists.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay?
Or he's keeping Jeffrey Hayes in a basement chained somewhere. Maybe we should ask if he's okay.
Trust me, he is, because I get visitation rights every other Tuesday. Yeah, but anyway, check out what he does, because people do judge your books by your covers, and if you've worked so hard on your interior, it deserves a great cover for the exterior, and that's where Jeffrey Hayes comes in with Plasma Fire Graphics. Go to the Plasma Fire Graphics page on Facebook and check out the samples there. Then go on over to his Facebook, or not Facebook, but his regular webpage, plasmafiregraphics.com, and check out more samples and ask Jeffrey directly about his indie creator friendly pricing. You will be so glad to work with the guy. He does incredible work, as you've just seen, and he's great to work with. He really does.
Super
incredible nice guy. And he helps you kick your game up a little bit when you see that cover and you think, I got to make sure my words are matching that cover.
I'll tell you this, and if you click that link for the Kickstarter page, you'll see the cover of Memoirs of an Angel, which was not done by Jeffrey Hayes, it's done by me. But I have seen Jeffrey Hayes's covers, and I'm like, his covers are phenomenal. I want to step my game up. And and this cover, I've already gotten a lot of people saying really nice things about it. And it's probably one of the best things I've ever done, because it's the first time I tried painting something. And I got that idea from Jeffrey Hayes. So, the dude doesn't even try to encourage and inspire others around him, and he's doing it anyway.
He is total rising tide. And the thing is, you can get Jeffrey to do your hardcover cover. See?
There you go. Now, in all seriousness, I have thought about something like that in the future.
Excellent. So definitely you want Jeffrey Hayes on your team with Plasma Fire Graphics, plasmafiregraphics.com, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And we've got more people. And let's see. And there we go. There is that link from Grant Lankard. Thank you, brother. Check that out, too. And also give that little button a nudge where it says notify me upon the launch, because you're going to be in for some great comics. Beowulf was a fantastic series, and now he's putting it out in a classy format. And it's going to be wonderful. And you can expect I'm going to get there soon and put my 2 cents in there, too. Ace Bonnie says it helps to jabber about nothing. It keeps the mind moving. Well, that's what this whole thing is about. And hit notifies on your too. And Kelly Carlisle's here. Mwah. Kelly, glad to see you here, darling. And let's see. Hitting notify on our Kickstarters instantly makes you more attractive. It's been proven by science. Suddenly,
I'm hotter.
Yeah, and I've got porno companies like calling me constantly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, really, it's worth their while. And Parallax Vector says, I'm already hotter than the sun. I'll vouch for that, darling. And when I get me check, I'm going to buy Clyde's book and Brian's book, and I want them signed, or I will have words with thee. Sweetheart, you got it. You got it, darling. When the time comes, get in touch with me. I will sell you a copy.
And I'll say this, Parallax, if you like Clyde and Brian, you're going to love what's coming next in book 2 of my series.
Yeah.
More on that to come later.
Indeed. So anyway, that catches us up with the comments. Thank you all for your great comments and your interaction. It was fun just looking at you guys just saying hello. And, oh yeah.
Indeed.
We are here to please. But anyway, thank you, Brian. It was awesome as usual.
Thank you, Brian. It was awesome.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Erica's doing a commission for her in July.
Oh, wonderful.
And
Yes.
see, she's awesome. Worship her, for heaven's sake. I do, darling. I worship the water you walk on. I put you on a pedestal mostly so I can look under your toga. But anyway, so Brian's gonna, God, I've got to do a solo show someday. I got an insanely heavy load of porno not too long ago. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. I know. Well,
she stays quiet the whole show, and at the end, you just, there you go.
Yeah, and YouTube tried to block your comments, Sarah, but I bet we had all the male wrenches here, and I say that not with any sort of, but Grant's taking credit. I rescued it. God bless you, young man. And you don't need a reflection. I don't wear much beef, as we're going to talk about that later. Anyway, and suddenly every male in the place is like, we know what our people like. But anyway, thank you all for being here. To everyone who watches this on the rerun, we appreciate you all. And we'll hopefully be back in a couple of weeks with another subject. If you have an idea for a subject, hit Brian or myself up on Facebook and give us an idea of where to go. Well, actually, I get told a lot where to go, but that's another issue. And let's see, layers all layered, Donna. Good night, everyone. And you rock, Grant. True story. And ask Joe D. McPhee. He can vouch for my curves and lack of clothing. Well, this is, stay tuned for the after dark edition of Between Two Brians, which is where this is heading fast. So we better get the hell out of here. So anyway,
seriously though, thank you all very much. Thanks to everybody who jumped on the pre-launch page tonight. I deeply appreciate it. Thank you. I hope that carries over to you buying the book and enjoying the book, because that's what I care about the most.
And also, I hope that I also echo that sentiment, because I'm going to be doing the same. But I also hope it encourages some of you to consider Kickstarter.
Yes.
Especially if your funds are low. And you don't mind promoting, and you don't mind a little hard work, and are ready for a few shots 6 inches below the waterline every now and then. But it can be worth it. It can be worth it.
I'll say this. If you're thinking about launching and you have questions, hit me up on Messenger. I will totally help you. I've helped people before. I enjoy helping people figure out, as long as you're willing to I'm not going to do the work for you, but I'll point you in some good directions. So I will help you as much as I can.
There we go. And later to you, Ace. Hey, thank you for being here. It was so good to see you. And getting ready to watch on the rerun. Sarah, we are even sexier on the rerun. It's like leftover meatloaf, the next day. We taste better. So anyway, on that note,
I've never been called leftover meatloaf before. That
as a compliment,
I like it.
Too.
I like it. Yeah, exactly. As a compliment. That's amazing. I don't think my day could get any better now.
Well, we'll see what we can do after the show. Anyway, folks, thank you all for being here. On behalf of Brian Rahman, I'm Brian K. Morris, and hopefully we'll see you in 2 weeks with another edition of Between Two Brians. As always, folks, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Have a great couple of weeks, and stay tuned. You don't know what's coming up, because we don't either. Good night, everyone.